Good evening, Agile acquisition enthusiasts, and welcome back to the Underground Digital Tiki Bar. It's Friday night. It's been another great week fixing procurement in the federal government, and that means it's time for another episode of Agile Acquisitions and Alcohol. So cheers. Okay, well, folks, tonight I have something a little bit different in store for you. You know I'm an advocate of the right tool for the right job, and when it comes to talking about federal acquisitions, there's no better tool out there than the Federal Acquisition Regulations. That is until now. The Federal Acquisition Regulations up until this point has been sort of a cumbersome tool to use. It's either a very big book or a typical government website. Those are your choices. Well, some friends and I got together and we built something called myFAR. Maybe it's something you've seen me talk about before, either on LinkedIn and mentioned it in some of my other videos. And I thought maybe tonight I'd walk you through the tool, show you how it can be used, and hopefully you'll find it worthwhile to check it out. And if nothing else, give me some feedback about how we can make it a little bit better. So go ahead and stay tuned because we're about to jump into the myFAR. So here we have the sign-in page. But before we jump into myFAR, I want to first show you what it is that's available right now. At acquisition.gov, you have your basic government website, and that is, or your government tool. It provides the functionality needed to do the job, no question. You go here, you have your table of contents, access to all the chapters of the FAR, each of the sections broken out. Let's just go to one, for example. We'll go to FAR 6.1. And there you go. If you need to know something in FAR 6.1, you can find it there. What myFAR tries to provide is all of the same information we pull from the same source, so it's just as current as acquisition.gov, but we provide a better user interface so that using the FAR, if you're not a FAR pro, if you haven't gotten down the tabbing and highlighting, if you haven't memorized it, like some of us do for fun, then myFAR is intended to provide you a better user experience. It's intended to provide you with some capabilities that would replicate what we used to do in the old days, where we would be highlighting and tabbing and making notes inside our FAR. And then, of course, every time a new edition would come out, we would transfer those notes and those lessons learned to the new book twice a year, typically. So here we go. So this is the homepage that you would land if you go to myfar.io, and let's try it out. Of course, I'm already signed in. To sign in, you have to register. All you need to do to register is put in your email and a password. So we come here, let's go to the home. We try it out. Come here, we have the table of contents. Sorry, let me sign in here for you. Of course, I use a password manager, so mine signs in automatically. And here we go. So now that we've logged in, we have access to all of the resources. So if you can use the tool without signing in, absolutely, you're going to get a better user experience for the typical FAR experience. It'll look better, but it doesn't give you all the additional benefits. Once you create an account and sign in, then you have access to these additional features. So you have expert analysis, Q&A, you can bookmark, you can take your own notes. The pending questions is for me. So here we go. So just the table of contents. Remember, this is what we're otherwise using. Here's our table of contents. Here, at least in the table of contents, you can actually see what each of the FAR sections are about if you don't have it memorized. And let's just jump to my favorite section of the FAR, which is FAR 39, because that talks about the acquisition of IT. Under FAR 39.1, here we go. So we have the general description of FAR 39, and here we have some expert analysis. So this is where I've just gone through and I've added just some information I thought would be useful to anybody who showed up. So you can see all the different sections I've already gone through and put just some content that I think would be helpful. But if we jump back, let's go to our home screen here. We can go to recent bookmarks here. So we'll go to 35, broad agency announcements. And you can see one of the advantages is everything's collapsed. So you can get a good sense of what's in the section of the FAR without having to sort through all of that information. When you get to a section that's important to you, you can open it up. If this is something that you wanted to know a little bit more about, you can make a note to yourself. Look back to this. save your note. Of course, you can edit or delete your notes later. If there were expert notes, then that would be here. If you would like to find more information, then you can go to the Q&As and ask for more information. So you can ask a question. You have a choice to make your questions public or private. Regardless, they're all going to come to me, so I can go ahead and answer those questions for you. So what does this mean? Here we go. Submit the question, and there you go. That's a waiting status for me. So here under pending questions, I can go ahead and I can see who's asked questions. So ultimately, there you go. That's what we provide. You got bookmarks. I think bookmarks are great. These are the tabs, the sticky notes that you had in your FAR all those years. Now you don't have to transfer them over every time a new version is released. You can go back and say, what was it in 6.303-2 that I was so interested in? Oh yeah, it's the justification of a sole source. Super important. Jump to your home, go back. What else did I think was important? 8.402 federal supply schedule, super important stuff. Sometimes you work in a place where you don't have access to your computer or your device and you need to print some stuff out. We made it really easy for you. You've got a print button right there so you can print those sections. You go home, you can even go back and you can look at all your different notes and you can print these screens as well. So that's myFAR, myFAR.io. I really hope this will add value to those folks that are out there trying to do good things for the federal government, whether you're on industry or the government side, just to make the FAR more accessible. It's great to have your FAR expert on hand, but if you don't, this tool will hopefully make it more digestible to the average user who just needs to really know, hey, I'm getting involved in an acquisition. The RFI or the RFP suggested that they were going to make it a small business set aside. What does that actually mean to me? Well, I can go right here to FAR 19 small business programs. I can look up under the set aside program here. And there you go. And you get the details. You can ask questions if you're confused, and I'll get back to you and give you some answers and some resources you can look at. Of course, you can search myFAR and find specific sections so you don't have to go through the table of contents. Anyway, that's hopefully a useful resource for you. And if you have any questions, please give me a thumbs up, or otherwise, just subscribe to the channel. And, I'm here for you. You can leave comments. You can let me know what it is that you need or what you want to know about, and I'm happy to help. Please check out the tool, register, let us know if these are the right sort of things and you want in there and what we should put on our backlog. Because just like I preach to everybody, we're using Agile development. We're iteratively developing this tool to meet our user needs. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Okay, take care. Have a great weekend. Cheers.